today what I want to share is there a right way to lose weight? Oh, 100%. There is totally a right way. There's just not one right way for every single woman out there. The way that I'm going to lose weight is going to be different from the way that you lose weight, and it's going to be based on a million different things, right? But there is a lot of wrong ways to lose weight, and I think that that's the first thing that we need to talk about is the right and wrong of it, right? Because I'm saying right a lot, when you are feeling bad about yourself, your weight, your body, how you feel in clothes, it can be really seductive to go and do the thing that offers that quick, dramatic change, right? The 30 pounds in 2 weeks kind of program. And usually when you're on a program like that, you're living life to an extreme. You're using food in an extreme way in terms of the rules and the conditions that you place around yourself about what's acceptable, what's not. And if you've watched me, you know that quick and dirty weight loss leads to quick and dirty weight regain. So that is the wrong way. Losing weight so quickly by doing extreme methods that you cannot live that lifestyle forever. Now, the lifestyle I live might be different than the lifestyle, my neighbor lives and that my best friend lives and that 100 of my clients live. So how do you figure it out? That's the deeper question. And here's the thing, the right way to lose weight is to never give up. But to never give up, you can't be doing things that cause you to use willpower and discipline as your prime tools, right? You need to be actually doing things in a very structured, sane way so that fat can get mobilized and be released off your body, because that's what we need to do with it. And so what happens for women is when we're on a weight loss journey, we can face a lot of resistance to doing what it takes to see weight loss happen. And that resistance can be internal. So not feeling like doing something. I don't feel like giving up my wine. I don't feel like eating vegetables. I don't feel like drinking more water, right? So it can be internal resistance or it can be external resistance. It could be, life is busy. You've got kids, you've got a dog to walk, you've got commitments at work, you've got a family to take care of, you've got volunteers. So there's all of these external things that are being flung at you, as well as your internal resistance to doing the things that you need to do to create the result. And so what happens? We get stuck. Resistance creates stuckness. And what happens is when we get resistant to something, well, all of a sudden what we're doing isn't fun anymore. It's not fun. And when things become not fun, it's very easy just to quit, to be like, I'll just do that next week. I'm going to worry about that next month. I don't actually need to focus on this right now because there are so many other things in my life that are hard. And what I want you to invite you to think about is that resistance, when you face it, whether it's a thought, a feeling, a situation you're in life, or an environmental condition, I want you to think of it as your opportunity to do things differently. Because that's what it takes. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're not going to get to the goal that you want, because it's like the definition of insanity, right? You're just going to try harder doing something that actually isn't creating the right result for you. And that's what creates what I call weight loss fatigue. That's what weight loss fatigue is. It's trying harder. It's like doubling down on a super hard method for you that actually isn't really working, but somehow you make yourself wrong about that. And so you just think, I need to work harder at it. Well, what if you need to actually face whatever it is you're resisting and think about a way you could do it differently? Maybe it's a way you need to think about yourself differently. Maybe it's a new habit that you need to create so you can do something differently. Maybe it's a habit you need to end or replace with a healthier habit. Resistance is our opportunity to grow. When we don't face what we're resisting, it persists. It just does. It's like kind of put your head down in the sand and kind of hope that the storm goes away around you, but it never does. And food and wine are the easiest ways to deny and distract yourself from what's happening in life right now. That, and then the other factor I see for so many of my clients is being overcommitted, over busy, over scheduled. It's like the most acceptable way to start justifying why you can't get to your goal. Ethnie's there. Hello. Hi. I'm so glad you can be on today. If you have questions while I'm talking about this, please put them into the chat. Our goal here at jenniferpowder.com is to make sure we are giving you the science-based facts, both from a physiological perspective and a psychological perspective on what it takes to create healthy, permanent weight loss. Right? I'm not interested in the short weight loss that like comes off for 5 weeks and then you regain. That is what creates, this feeling in women of like, they're never going to get there. Jenna, nice to see you too. Gosh, I need to connect with you. I just saw your message back. And, resistance can crop up in my life in a million different ways, right? In a million different ways. And if I just keep pretending that it's not there, then I'm staying stuck in my own patterns of self-sabotage. That's what it is. That's the psychological construct that exists for so many people. What happens when you move into what the science of behavior change looks like, what the science of fat metabolism is, well, you have a greater understanding that you're actually not crazy, you're on the right path, and that this crap, it takes time. Change takes time. Anybody can white knuckle practically anything for 4 weeks. Right? Cabbage soup, done, no problem, right? Cabbage soup diet, just drink a shake or 2 shakes a day for the next month. I mean, sure, if you want to live like that, you will get to a result that you're probably going to feel happy with, but what about the rest of your life? I mean, don't you like food? Like, I like food, and I like the freedom that comes with knowing my body so well, understanding exactly what I need to nourish my body, that the science makes sense. Fat metabolism is predictable, and we can create it, but it's based on certain things. I mean, it's based on, number one, you're probably watching me and you're a female, right? Women and men were different beings. I mean, fact, duh, right? Oh, Suzanne, nice to see you. It's been so long. Holy cow. We're different. Typically, men are bigger. Typically, they have more muscle mass. Typically, they can eat more than women. Like, how many of you have ever said, God, my husband eats or my boyfriend eats whatever he wants and like loses weight. I eat what he does and I gain 10 pounds. And I'm like, yeah, because, typically women are smaller. We don't have as much muscle mass and we're not as tall, right? We don't have the same room in our life to eat the same as men. But what happens for most of us is resistance comes up. I don't feel like doing this. What I know is that for whatever goal you're going after in your life, you're not always going to feel like doing the work. We don't always feel inspired or motivated to take the action that we need. I mean, Stephen Pressfield wrote a book about this called The War of Art, that if artists in the world waited to feel inspired or motivated, we wouldn't have art, we wouldn't have books, we wouldn't have paintings, right? Inspiration doesn't just hit sometimes. It's like you show up whether you feel like it or not. You show up to a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the same vision that you're holding for yourself and your life and your body that you had when you did feel motivated. That is the right way to go on a weight loss journey. It is getting your head so straight about, it's got to be the long play. And the long play means you got to learn how to create freedom with food. You need to learn how to not be afraid of it. So many of my clients are terrified of carbohydrate in the form of bread, pasta, rice, sweet potato, the complex carbs, right? And yet, so there's this they'll never eat a sandwich, they'll never eat wraps. And yes, there is, gluten to be aware of. But, sometimes that's not the best place to start because it's not actually the real issue. The issue is a fear around food and a lack of understanding around it, because that same person who's terrified of carbohydrates can drink the equivalent of 2 bottles of wine in the course of a week. And yet somehow that's been made okay or permissive. There's permission given in their heads. And so when you are, moving through this, my clients go slow in the journey. And that's why, sometimes what I do isn't as sexy and as marketable as so many of the other programs out there that, tell you that permanent weight loss is going to be achievable in 2 weeks. Run. If you see that, do not pass go. Go back the other way and find something else. Find something where you don't have to live your life with hard rules, because what I know right now, women are living with more on their plate than ever before. And to add in another strict set of rules around do this, don't do that, can't have, don't, never, omit, you end up wanting that. You end up feeling, and then you end up feeling bad if somebody's told you that you can never have it. Hence the idea of understanding the physiology of fat metabolism and how to keep your mind psychologically safe as you engage on that weight loss journey. The two things matter, and they have to go hand in hand. And so many people think that, well, women think that if they screw up on their quote unquote diet, well, that they've failed. And in our world, in my clients and my world, we celebrate those failures because it means that probably some sort of emotional or life storm happened in your life and you reverted back to an old coping mechanism. You met some sort of resistance in your life, real, right? External, environmental, or imagined, created in your own head, either believing you're not worthy, it's too hard, it's going to take too long, it's never going to work, you're never going to get there, blah, blah, blah. I've heard it all. And then they do, my clients do. So it means that you've reverted back to an old coping mechanism that just doesn't work for you. So let's figure out what those emotional storms are that get you triggered. We all have triggers, right? The trigger creates the habit, right? And the habit, we engage in the habit so we can get the reward. And food and booze can be like such an instant reward, right? The sugar hits and you get that sugar high. The wine can give you that instant belief that, oh, it's relaxing. You know, it doesn't take much to scroll through Facebook and see a few posts that talk about how it's like wine o'clock somewhere, or that the solution for the end of a tough day is going to be wine. But what does that do? What are we numbing? What are we distracting ourselves from in our life? I'm in the midst of, I truly believe that weight loss is one of the most transformative journeys a woman can go on, because you are forced to face yourself. You're forced to be with your thoughts. You're forced to take a look at yourself when you're, doing all the right things. And more importantly, you're forced to face yourself and actually feel what you're feeling, not just numb and suppress. Your bodies are incredibly brilliant, right? But what I want you to get clear is that wherever you're at right now, whether that's, the right weight that you love being at, then awesome. If you're underweight for whatever reason, if you're overweight for whatever reason, I want you to really get that there's some personal responsibility that has gone into agreeing to live life like that. And if you don't like the agreement that you've made in yourself about how you're treating your body or how you're showing up day to day with your relationship with food, well, then you can change the agreement. You can make a stronger, better one for yourself. You can make one that actually works for where you're at in this point in your life now. I've got some clients who've got, 3 little kids or a set of twins, and they're just coming out of that like postnatal period, and they're sleep deprived and stressed and trying to figure all of this stuff out. And, that may not be the right time to all of a sudden, think that you should like start a diet, right? There's so many other things going on in your life. But when you finally realize that you've got the bandwidth and you know that carrying extra weight on your body is holding you back in your life, well, that's resistance. That is telling you that it's time for you to take care of you. And that it's okay for you to want to take care of you. It's not selfish. It's not vain. It's not any of that, right? It's about your health and your life and looking after this forever vehicle that you're going to be going through life in. And if not now, then when? Because so many people wait for the right time to lose weight. There will never be one. There will always be a holiday or a celebration or a vacation planned or things like that. Why not learn while you're doing those things? I've got a client that I spoke to this morning who was telling me about all these awesome food choices that she's making for herself and how she's really identifying her habits. But there's one habit late at night that she hasn't kicked yet, and that's cheese and crackers. When she's tired, the cheese and crackers come out. Now for her, she's not even quite 5'0". So she's petite. And so those evening cheese and crackers are slowing down her weight loss journey. And it feels unfair. But it's not about feeling, it's about the physiology, right? It's about what are your cells. I mean, your fat cells, your body needs a certain amount of energy. And after that, it has to store anything excess that you put in, it converts to fat. And so when you're looking at whatever it is that you're doing, ask yourself 3 questions. 1, do I like this? Can I live like this for the next 5 years? Does this let me feel free? Do I have some freedom and understanding of food and my body? You've got to understand it to make sense of it, or else you're just caught in that place of not knowing. And then 3, does the data make sense? Like, are the claims about what you're engaging in, do they sound logical and reasonable, or are they like outlandish, and are you being marketed to? It's so important for me to help women understand that there is a right way. There's a million wrong ways, absolutely, but that there is no one right way to do this. It is a journey, and every woman is living in a different set of circumstances, in different environmental conditions, and has different limiting beliefs that are going to either hold you back or let you engage in your own form of resistance. And so if you are looking to move forward on any of your goals around getting healthy, losing weight, feeling stronger and more confident in your body, reach out, because you don't need to struggle and suffer on your own. It is the hardest way, you guys. It is like not fun. And it can really, I've got clients who have done that for 3 or 4 decades until they finally get to a point of accepting and being worthy of feeling like they can have help. So please, I'm really curious to hear, September is always like a new semester in my world. It's like fresh slate, clean start. And we are planning all of our Facebook Live content from now through the rest of the semester, the rest of the fall here. So if you have a question, a specific question to what's going on for you, a question that you want me to answer, anything to do with cooking or prepping your kitchen or exercise or any of the stuff around the psychology of behavior change, please let me know what those are so I can answer it for you in future Get Real with Jen Facebook Live shows. I would really love to do that and support you as you're moving towards your goals. So I will be back next Monday, hopefully answering one of your questions, and I will see you then. Bye for now.